Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Relentless Project. Real people, real stories, real fucking life. We talk a lot about pivoting in business, but we rarely talk about it in the creative field. What does it take to kill off an identity that was working just to build something entirely new because your soul demanded it? My guest today knows that feeling. He started his journey in the trenches of hip-hop under the name INKNATION, spitting bars and building a name with tracks like Pearl and Be Trippin'. He had the flow, he had the lyrics, and he had the respect. But the vision evolved. He realized that words weren't enough to capture the energy he wanted to create. So he transitioned from the microphone to the mixing board. He rebranded as Krystal Klarity, diving headfirst into the world of dubstep, bass, and EDM. He just released the Magna Karta EP, and as of early 2026, literally weeks ago, he officially trademarked the Krystal Klarity brand, cementing his move from artist to enterprise. He's a producer who bridges the gap between the underground and the main stage. Krystal Klarity, welcome to the Relentless Project.
You are now tuning in to the Relentless Project. Real people, real stories, real life.
What's up? What's up? Happy to be here.
How was that? How does it feel? First question I'd like to ask, how does it feel to hear someone describe you?
It's tight, man. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's a lot of hard work, so it's awesome when anyone, is able to recognize and check it out like that.
And you're Pittsburgh scene mostly, or do you do more traveling now?
Yeah, so I'm actually proud to say I'm officially moved up here. I got a house up here, so I also have my property in Florida as well, Tampa.
Oh, you a
Shout
Florida
out
boy?
Tampa. Yeah, I'm actually a Florida native. 33 plus years I lived there, and I just moved up here. So
people listening are probably gonna ask, why? Why move to the cold?
Honestly, it's funny you say that. I'm asking myself why after this snowstorm, man. This shit was crazy. No, I got a lot of friends up here and a lot of homies that are real supportive, and I do a lot of business up here with my production company. I own like 9 CDJs, a handful of mixers, lights, etc. And like I said, I just do a lot of work up here, and I like it until it snows. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then it's crazy, and I'm back to Florida.
Pittsburgh's beautiful until that snow. It was just like -3, -5.
I was like, I've never been trapped inside like this before.
Me and my shorty go to Florida. We're like, we'll take this for business, but I'm like, yeah, it's Florida.
Yep.
Bro, it's 30 degrees. I'm like, did we bring it with us or what? I guess the lizards are all frozen. People are just picking them up.
It's crazy work.
Crazy.
It's crazy work, man.
So when someone asks about who is Krystal Klarity, what do you say?
When someone asks, who is Krystal Klarity?
Or what is Krystal Klarity? Right, because it's a brand now.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's everything to me. You know what I mean? It's, it goes back to when I first went to like my first festival at Lost Lands. You know what I mean? And I was still under the INKNATION, the hip hop alias at that time. So I went to this first festival. I've been to EDM shows, but never like a festival. And man, it was just, as cliche as it sounds, crystal clear at that moment. Ooh. That this is where I needed to be, this is what I need to do, and I'm able to spread my positive message to a way larger scale than I feel like personally I could reach with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I still integrate that. You know what I mean? All my tracks, I integrate a lot of hip hop in my sets, a lot of my original vocals, original everything type deals. So, I'm just. Like I said,
those festivals are insane.
Oh, it's madness.
You ever been to the Moonrise Festival in Baltimore?
I've heard of it. I haven't been to that one yet.
So I never heard of it until it popped up. Me and a couple of my boys go down there, but it was crazy. They had 3 stages, I believe, and then the one main stage was just. I remember just sitting there. Look, the stage went forever, and I was probably, I was madness. So far back, and I'm just. Fire everywhere. I'm like, yeah, this is dope. And like, I grew up on EDM, house stuff. Like, I love that kind of music. So having you on's kind of dope because I'm about to chirp your ear a little bit too. Bro.
Happy to be here, brother, for sure.
So you talked about Krystal Klarity. What about when someone says, "Who's Will McGaha"? Are those two different entities, or do you integrate them both in what you do?
Essentially, both are integrated. I would say, Krystal Klarity is a little more, out there, outgoing. You know what I mean? Like really extrovert. I would say Will is, kind of an introvert. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy how that happens?
But I love it all. You know what I mean? And I love like at our shows and things, like everyone's just feels like family. You know what I'm saying? It's all inclusive. No one's excluded. You know what I mean? No bad vibes available.
Yeah,
allowed,
I got invited to your show, bro. I got invited to the show.
You pulling up, man.
I'm about to pull up, see what it's about.
We got a side quest this weekend on the 7th. We're doing a show with Sweet Tooth and DMZ News Official. It's the Locked In tour, and your boy's direct support. So we're gonna be throwing down. We might have to jump in the crowd once or twice.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's always interesting, right? Like you build this brand and you build this persona, and it's not persona, but you work on this thing, and it's on social media. It's out there for everybody to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're like in the privacy of your personal life, and you get recognized, how do you deal with that? How do you manage that?
It's cool. I'm with it, man. I love anyone who appreciates, the art that I've created. You know what I'm saying? Or even just the vibe. You know what I'm saying? I'm down for flicks. I'm down. You know what I mean? I'm trading social with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm all with it for sure.
That's something I'm trying to lean into now, because now people are like, "Oh, that's the dude from Relentless Project," and I feel so weird. I'm just like, nah, I'm ish. It's like
at first it's like, oh shit, like,
God damn. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but it's cool because I'm obviously doing this because I want to spread positive messages and share people's stories, because that's what's allowed me to evolve, is listening to people and how they've changed and transitioned their lives and gone through the muck, basically. So I use those lessons, right? So that's the goal of this. And then for other people to also be applying those and doing that, I'm like, oh man, that's cool. I like it.
100%. Yes, Sirski.
So we had Nick DeMercurio on. Shout out Nick.
Shout out Nick. Much love, my brother. I'm actually going to see him in Florida here soon. So we about to be on the beach and hanging out. You know what I mean? Like chilling, making some music.
With the mixing board on the beach too.
Oh yeah. I got a studio in Florida, so we're gonna make some tunes.
You need a tropical EDM track.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Play it by the beach.
In times like these, for sure.
Yeah, bring the summer to Pittsburgh.
I got you, man. We got you.
So his story was interesting because he was more behind the board and then transitioned to being on the mic and more vocal. You started the other way, correct? You started on the mic.
Yeah, almost exact opposite. You know what I'm saying?
And now you're more behind the board.
100%.
What was I guess what got you into music, right? You could have gone 1,000 different ways growing up. Like this industry is very, very niche and very, like, it's hard to penetrate. How did you get into it and why?
Oh man, it stems back to like high school. My parents always like played tunes and stuff, like the oldies, you know what I'm saying? But I was never like allowed to like branch out and like, listen to my own music or figure out what's up. So in high school, I bought this iPod. It was one of the old big chunky video jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Video
oh
one.
yeah,
that's
fancy. I was hyped on it. You know what I'm saying? So I grabbed that from this chick in high school, and like I was vibing with it. I heard Assassination Day by Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? By Ghostface and Tupac and like all this Cannibal Corpse and you know what I'm saying? All this crazy tunes, and my parents ended up taking it away from me. And just 86 in it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. And I was already in band. I was in marching band. I played the mellophone, the French horn, the alto saxophone. So I was already like engaged in music and, sheet music and writing and all that stuff at the time. And then it just kind of progressed. It progressed. And then, shout out Mac Miller, you know what I mean? Like he was a massive influence on like, just transitioning to like, all right, we're doing this. Like we're on streaming platforms. We're now acquiring studio equipment on a daily basis to kind of just solidify things. And yeah, it just continued to progress. And then eventually I had my own recording studio in Tampa. We had that for a couple years. I was sick. And then, yeah, boom. Like I said, I hit Lost Lands, and I was like, immediately, right? I had already like, you know, almost 500,000 streams on Spotify with INKNATION, 3 stacked albums. You know what I mean? I'm very meticulous with my writing. You know what I'm saying? And I hit Lost Lands, and dude, it was crazy. It was like a flip was switched immediately, and I went home. Because I was on Pro Tools prior to that. You know what I mean?
Shout out Pro Tools.
Shout out Pro Tools, man. The OG shit. You know what I mean?
You still use Pro Tools?
Man, I do for my vocals, man. I do a lot of processing in my vocals with Pro Tools, and then I'll throw it in Ableton, and I'm an Ableton head now. All the
like the people who hit music like you guys, you Nick, like it's these softwares. Like when I was doing it, it was Mixcraft and Logic.
Yeah, I heard you were on the
Did you ever hear Mixcraft?
One. Yeah.
This Mixcraft, I'm like, this is easy.
No, for sure.
And then Fruit Loops, I'm like, that was a whole different world. But I was able to manage. I remember I tried to remix Vanessa Carlton 1,000 Miles.
Hey,
I couldn't get it. I sampled it and stuff. And I was like, it was tough. It was hard, but
that's fire.
Like Ableton, I could never get into. Pro Tools was like Logic on steroids. It was just there was so much that I'm like, I just feared it, man. And you guys are just hitting it.
It's hefty, dude. Hey, maybe we'll have to work on that 1,000 miles, John.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Maybe we'll have to get something going.
Hard EDM drop.
Yeah, dude. Like, they love that shit, bro.
Do it. I'm telling you.
One of my biggest, like, two of my biggest, like, smashes is I have a Panic at the Disco bootleg. You know what I mean? And that goes crazy every show. And then I have a Sweet Caroline, which is my ender. Just about every show, and it's so far. It's just a fat sustained bass, you know what I mean, in the middle. It's just Who
was it that they made I forget who it was, but they remixed this old like Italian, like one of the famous Italian song. People are gonna roast me online because I can't think of it, but you know I can't even think of it. Anyway, the remix hit so damn hard that I literally replayed the 15-second reel.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, in my car, I'm listening to music. I'd stop, go on Instagram, play the reel, and then go back to my music.
That's when you know it's good.
That's when you know it's good.
Like for sure.
So you said you started in music with INKNATION. I'm a big marketing branding guy. Why INKNATION? What was the motivation for the name? Maybe I can figure it out.
You know, I have ink on my hands here, but like the actual letters themselves. But that was like my name for a while. I was just called Ink, like just people call me. And INKNATION was like, it was actually my label and my artist name. So I had an artist signed to my label. He was a Spanish and American artist, super fire, you know. But no, it was just as a whole, you know what I mean. INKNATION as a whole, I just wanted everyone to be. You know, it was kind of like an early root of my EDM, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted everybody to be rooted and just united, you know what I'm saying? And enjoy the music, feel it. Kind of, if you listen to my 3 hip-hop albums front to back, you will know just about my entire life being. Because I put my entire being into the music. You know what I'm saying?
So I like albums like that where it kind of tells a story
front to back, and I do EDM the same way. My EP I just dropped is called EP, EEP. Yeah, like bats. You know what I'm saying? So shout out the Bat Cave. You know what I mean? Krystal Klarity, the Bat Cave. But no, front to back, man. Every time tells a story for sure.
And so then you said you were at this music festival, and it just kind of inspired something different. You mentioned earlier it was crystal clear.
Oh man, there's just so much like love and caring for one another, and just happiness all in one place. You know what I mean? And everyone's looking out for each other. You know, for the most part, you got a couple rotten eggs here and there.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
You're gonna have that in life. You know what I'm saying? So. No, dude, it literally had me to the point where I figured out what I needed to do, and I executed, and I studied, and I took classes, and I learned from some OG mentors, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I just put every waking hour into figuring out what I needed to do and where I needed to be.
And how did hip hop influence kind of help you transition into, I'll call it electronic for the sake of just to encompass everything. How did the hip hop influence? How does that give you an advantage, or does it give you an advantage in EDM?
I mean, personally, I feel like, I don't know, I guess advantage would be the word. Yeah, but personally, I definitely feel an advantage because, you know, I'm already rooted in the beats. You know what I mean? Like, on my throat piece here is Wu-Tang. Shout out Wu-Tang. Yeah.
I just saw it.
Enter the 36 Chambers was like my, you know, like my manual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had that record on repeat for probably 2 years straight at one point, and it just really, really like was a driving force, you know, to get to where I'm at right now. And like I said, I apply my hip hop into the EDM, so I'm kind of like meshing the worlds. You know what I mean? You got like T-Pain just kind of like crossed over to the EDM side. He did a set at Lost Lands recently, which was tight.
Yeah, I see. He's been doing a lot of shows.
Yeah, he just did a bass boot camp, which was cool. He got a lot of real big DJ names together and producers together, and kind of did like a collaboration thing. It was tight. So, but it's like, it's funny to see it like start like kind of blowing up now and catching on now. And it's like, you know, 4 or 5 years I've been, you know what I'm saying, pushing at it. So,
So you've been behind the Klarity brand for a while.
For quite a bit, for sure.
How was it? Essentially I don't want to say walking away because you're blending it, but you're leaving one brand and starting something completely different. And for like, obviously your loyal fans and followers, they can track that. But for people who listen to you, you know, periodically or you know, that could be like abandoning an entire crowd. Like how was it walking away from Ink and going into Krystal Klarity?
So it's like yes and no, because it's like I guess you could technically say walked away, but I still keep that project alive. You know what I mean? You can still, you know, go check out any INKNATION projects. You can go check out the YouTube music videos, which are super interesting. But you know, I don't know. It was like I said, it's hard to explain other than like my just mental just felt like, you know, this is where I needed to be, and I would push 10 times as hard, you know, to make up for lost times, to catch up to where, you know, I've already progressed that far with this other brand here, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. The KK project is just way more positive, way more like, you know, uplifting, you know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, I don't know. It's
hip hop can be a little more, what's the word?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
It can be that, right?
You know what I'm saying.
Because you know where hip hop stemmed from. You know, it was a place of hurt, a place of pain.
Facts.
You know, EDM is like peace, love, and little donuts, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Everyone's
peace, love,
chilling.
and back caves. You know what I mean?
Everyone's
For
chilling.
Sure, 100%.
So they're very different, but you're blending these two, which is interesting. And you know, obviously, I listen to hip hop, I listen to EDM, I listen to all kinds of stuff. So transitioning from rapping to producing is tough. I mean, especially EDM. There's so many. If you really listen to music, if you're in music or you have an ear for it, EDM fills every gap with something. You know, when there's a drop happening, there's a synth here, but then behind that synth, there's another synth, and then
you got risers, you got white noise. It's
you know what I'm saying. I don't even know what a riser is, but like perfect
Those are
example.
Crucial for sure.
So like I'm big on the technical stuff. So walk us through, you know, for people who probably do music or someone who just, you know, they have an hour to kill and they're listening to us. How do you go about even starting an EDM track? What do you start? Do you start with a melody? Do you start with a drop?
Shit, giving away game out here, you know what I'm saying?
That's the way I look at it.
It's cool too, because I do offer like educational courses and classes as well. We can get to that later, but no, I mean, to start a track, you got your intro. You know what I mean? You want to have a cool little melody. You could either put the drums in it or you could take them out. It don't matter. You don't really want to have like, you know, bass in the intro. You know what I'm saying? You save that as a build up, and you move to you know, a riser. You want to have like a riser, like a build up type deal. You know, you kick snare, and then you want to chop those in half. You chop them in half again. And then you got some type of, you know, dramatic pause or like a funny feeling or like, you know, a notable quote.
I've been seeing a lot of that.
and then go blam, you hit them with a drop. You know what I'm saying? And the drop goes, and then you know, you got your second fill, and you just kind of do it all over again. You got an outro, you know, going out and call it a day.
See, the reason I asked this is because I feel like there's no competition. There shouldn't be any competition.
No,
right?
man.
And you offer classes.
Yes,
you
sir.
like this is another part of your brand, right? You're teaching people how to do this. So I think it's cool and important to show like, hey, this is how I'm gonna give you a little sliver of what I can offer you or
For sure.
what I do, and then like, because I know for me, I'm about to go into your Patreon and now check it out.
Yo, 100%.
Because
I got you. I got song stems, like actual records I've made, and it breaks it completely down in Ableton, so you can actually see like step by step you know what I mean, the records, the plugins, everything is right there. I got sample packs, you know what I mean, Krystal Klarity sample packs.
So you're actually like creating sample packs too.
For sure.
That's
For sure.
cool. I always use those actually. Like I always,
Tight.
it helps you, right? Like if you're not, especially if you're a hobbyist or you're doing this for fun,
For sure.
you're not gonna sit there and redo every.
No, that sound
plugin.
design's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sound design's a whole nother thing, and it's fun and it's long, but it's time consuming, you know.
What was the hardest part of learning sound design for EDM?
Really just trial and error, and it's not even necessarily hard, just more time consuming, you know what I mean? And it can be frustrating if you don't, but you know, there's a lot of other educational videos, you know what I mean, breakdowns, tutorials, etc. And also, you know, linking up with someone who's in the industry and who's been doing this shit, you know, a long time, like it definitely helps to have that type of mentor as well.
What's your thoughts on AI, especially in the music industry? I've seen a few people talking about how AI can be a tool, AI can be a crutch, AI is taking away creativity, AI is enhancing it. What are your thoughts?
With the music industry?
Well, yeah, with what you're doing and
For sure. AI, I believe, is a tool as well. And it's one of those things, man, it's like, you know, it's like you got to keep up with the times, or
I agree.
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? Or you're going to get left behind. It's period. But you could think like, oh, no, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing this shit. But it's like, you know, it's not going to make it for you. You know what I'm saying? You kind of have to have like the basis at least, you know what I'm saying? And knowledge of what you're doing. You can't just be like, hey, do this, you know, because it'll be very widespread, very like, you know what I'm saying? Not to the point.
well, especially with music or anything creative, right? You like the reason people listen to, you know, so and so song or this, it's because of the person doing the work, right? Like they are bleeding something into this. AI lacks that. So if you
100%.
use it too, because now there's websites where you can create an entire song.
For sure. That's crazy.
You know what I
right?
mean?
I haven't dove into that yet.
Well,
I've heard about it,
Timbaland does it.
Dang,
Timbaland does it. I mean,
Timbo.
obviously he goes in, but he recreates
and he comes
everything.
in and yeah, no, it makes it that much quicker.
makes it his
know
thing, you know what I
Like,
mean?
So it's like you could crank out mad product. You know
But
what I'm
there
saying?
is software like that, and if you listen to it, you're like, oh, this has something, but it's missing something.
Exactly.
And if you can't add that thing or that flair or your personality into it,
it's gonna
you'll
stay
get written
very
out.
it'll stay very robotic. It'll kind of blend into everybody else's massive things.
I know AI helps me with the podcast, man. I used to take like 7 hours to edit an episode.
Yeah.
I can edit within 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
Dude, just the way, bro, it's crazy.
We
Like,
might have to talk about that. I
Yeah.
need that, bro.
Bro,
I
I-
got mad content, and it takes me forever. You know what I'm saying, to edit that shit.
oh,
and
dude,
get it out.
I'll give you the tools of the
But
trade.
Get
bro.
on, man.
Bro,
Appreciate
but it's
you, bro.
so. I'm just the way I'm like, man. Anyone who would argue this is just it's silly, right? Because there's nothing
For sure.
creative about like cutting. Like for example, when you're talking, it's showing you. When I'm talking, it's showing me. It's not creative. That's just time consuming. So if there was a
sure.
tool that just eliminates that work, now I have time to do a bunch of other stuff and be more creative.
Call it a day.
Call it a day. So.
For sure.
I want to get your perspective on AI. Let's talk about the Magna Karta EP. Was that your? No, like I said, I tried to do a little research. So you know, correct me if I'm wrong. That was your kind of dive into dubstep and hybrid bass.
Yes,
That was like your first.
Yeah, that was my first official EP release as Krystal Klarity. I had some singles out prior to that, but that was like, another stacked one, top to bottom. You know what I mean? It kind of starts out a little easier, gets a little more intense, hits peak intensity, and then the last one's like a real vibey, down tempo, like weird shit. You know what I mean?
Gets everywhere with it. I was listening to a couple of your songs, and there's a lot of, especially the way I took it, there's a lot of emotion.
Oh yeah.
That gets taken out when you're designing a drop. What are you trying, or is it? I guess it's song specific, but with Magna Karta, what were you trying to elicit? Anger, excitement, release, like.
It's like you felt it. You just hit the nail on the head with all of them.
All of them.
Like, yeah, no, fact, all of the above. Like, there's my most popular record is called Rage RN, which is Rage Right Now. Rage Right Now. Rage Right Now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I kind of embodied that first trip to Lost Lands in that whole song, because I talk about like, is this the land before the time? Dinos fly. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. But it builds up to like, is that a mosh pit on my right? What is this? Is it my time? You know what I mean?
Dude, EDM mosh pits are.
It's crazy work.
I was at Moonrise. I was at Moonrise in Carnage. You ever heard of DJ Carnage?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So this was the first time I ever heard of him. This was a long time ago. He comes on stage. My boy's like, dude, Carnage is up. We got to get to the front. So I bullied myself to the front. Boom, boom. I'm a bigger dude. People tend to get out of my way.
Man.
So I'll go to the front. I'm holding on to the railing. And then Carnage gets up. And then everyone just starts moving. And I'm like, oh, I got all the space in the world. And my boy's screaming my boy's screaming like, yo, yo. And I'm like, nah, bro, we got all the space. Like, where's everybody going? And he did a countdown. And I'm like, I'm so just like, dude, I'm so close. His sweat's getting on me. It's kind of gross. But I'm like, this is dope.
Vibing.
I fought to get up here. I'm up here. Everybody got away. Bro, I just see two walls of people crashing in on me. I'm like, bro, some dude starts running beeline to me.
Wall.
I grab him and I toss him and everyone just starts swinging. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? My boy pulls me out. That's how he starts all his sets.
Oh man, that's
death
lit.
wall.
The death wall is crazy work, dude. That's Carnage right there.
That was my first
That'll do
experience
it.
in
That's a
the
good
EDM
way to get
any mosh pit, actually.
That's a good way to get thrown in. You know what I mean?
It's a good way to get thrown.
For
I was like,
sure.
what the fuck is going on? Everyone's laughing and swinging.
Yeah, just having the time of their lives, bro. They're like,
Yeah, this is great. And then they apologize to you. I'm like, dude, okay. I don't know what's going on, but
so confused.
kinda down, kinda down.
I'm with it. Fuck it.
in a genre that's often chaotic and loud, clarity implies like focus and peace. What's the goal for you when you're making music? I just want to take a second to shout out a few companies who've believed in me. These were one of our first official sponsors, so huge shout out. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Carbo Jewelers, established in 1997 on the values of honesty and integrity. Whether you're searching for the perfect piece, need expert repair services, visit Carbo Jewelers in Newark's Ironbound District, where your jewelry is always in safe hands. This episode is also brought to you by Continental Jewelers, proudly serving Hudson County, New Jersey since 1964. Whether you're seeking a timeless piece or need expert repairs, they've got you covered. Visit Continental Jewelers, your trusted source for all things jewelry. You can find them on Instagram at Carbo Jewelers or online at carbojewelers.com. Lastly, big shout out to Carbo Trading. Besides coins, precious metals, and jewelry, if it could be traded and collected, he's probably got it. They can be found on Instagram at carbo.trading. You can find all of our sponsors out online on our sponsor page at therelentlessproject.com.
Just to make people feel, you know what I mean, to have that release. There's so much negativity and so many things that we deal with on a daily basis that, a lot of us don't even talk about. But it's like, when people come to my sets and are able to just like release, just have a good time. Like I said, everybody feels like family. If you don't know each other in the room, you will by the end of a KK show. You know what I mean? And that's what, it ties in with what we're doing with the Batcave. You know what I mean? And that's just for everyone to feel, like I said, inclusive in the dark, while we're dancing. You know what I mean?
So what is the Batcave? You mentioned the Batcave a few times. For people who don't know, what is
The Batcave is, it's part of our, like, our inner sanctum, our inner circle, like the real, true friends and family that are at each and every one of these shows and support. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of what we do with our shows, and people get to experience that.
And being up there, you're essentially, so you're on the tracks, you produce the music, and you're DJing as well. How does it feel to like be in control, essentially, of so many people's emotions? When you're on stage, you're guiding that. How does that feel?
For sure. The DJ crowd controller. You know what I mean? Like it's in the best way. It's cool. It's cool, man. It's really cool. I did my first stage dive last show at Mr. Small's here.
How was that?
The fun house.
It was
fucking sick, bro. It was tight.
Do you like have to?
It was tight, bro. It was hella tight.
Do you have to like preempt it and like hope that people catch you? Or
I kind of let them know in the beginning of the set, like halfway through, we're about to do some different shit. You know what I mean? We're about to have some real good fun, turn it up a notch. And I actually do it to my Rage Right Now song. As soon as Rage Right Now comes on, I let them know, and I'm like, all right, now can I trust y'all? Can I trust y'all, Pittsburgh?
That's quite the trust fall
and,
right there.
And Pittsburgh have my back. You know what I mean? So I'm with it.
So where do they take you? You jump in. They can take you anywhere.
I'm looking up. I'm like, they just kind of take you wherever. I'm like, I tell them though, I need to be back. Y'all gotta have me back by the second drop. All right, by the end of the first drop, I gotta be back on. I gotta finish this out for y'all. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Or who knows what happens?
Yeah, who knows? Like, you know what I mean? There's no telling what's coming up next.
So like, I was talking to her about it. One thing that interests me about, especially DJing, you're taking some of your music, some other music, and you're mixing it together, but you're adding and changing and blending. What's that pressure like when you're up there to make sure the next song is cued and it's cued in the right spot? Like how does that work?
Chilling.
And that's me asking.
Chilling.
I
a lot of people don't know this. I typically will play the set I'm finna play 4 times prior to performance, and I will make sure it's perfected just about every time. And there's times till you improvise, you change it up depending on how the crowd feeling and stuff. But like I'm very particular on like my craft, and it's like that's another reason I own the CDJs, because it's like I won't perform on any unless it's Pioneer CDJ 2000 or 3000.
And what does that mean?
A CDJ 2000 is a turntable.
Okay.
It's the turntable, and then you have the DJM mixer, which is the mixer in the middle where the sliders are and shit. Like
okay,
that.
so I didn't realize what the names were. So you're essentially you have 2 controllers. I've seen people 4. Damn.
4, yeah. 4 decks preferred. 3 minimum.
So what are the 4 decks for? You're like.
So you.
This is for the dude who knows nothing about.
No, I got you, bro. I got you. So I mean, off rip. While the artist before me is which actually Dirty Sub King, shout out Dirty Sub King, just did his Pittsburgh debut with me.
Oh, dope.
I mean, he played right before me, crushed his set. But while the artist is finishing up, I'll pull up, I'll be like, hey man, like, is it good if I plug in? I'll plug in and I'll start loading my first and second track. And then once he's done, I'll make my introduction and I'll load the 3rd and 4th record. And then I'm ready to go.
Oh, so you're queuing up.
All 4. And then as that one's ending and I'm on 2, now I can go to 3 and reset these 2, but then be ready for 4.
And you say you're chilling during that.
Chilling.
That sounds like...
It's a little stressful.
Yeah, that sounds chaotic.
It's a little stressful. But we have fun, man. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's super chill.
I'd be honest, how many times have you messed up and just covered and no one notices?
Look, my manager's in there laughing right now.
He's like, all the time.
No. Like solid once or twice.
I wouldn't even call it a mess
I've
up, right?
elbowed the play button. You know what I mean?
Turn it into a scratch?
No, it just stopped dead. But you never know, because I'm hitting it. I'm right back on it. You know what I mean? Like, we play it off.
See, I'd freak out.
Yeah.
I'd hit the stop and get on the mic and be like, make some noise.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
See, you play it off. Exactly. Everybody's just having a good time, so they're really just chilling. You know what I mean?
And I guess if you're in the mix, man, you're in there, you're chilling. Like,
yeah.
you're not gonna notice. How often do you do? You mentioned you know, I've seen a lot of sets where they'll like right before they do a fake drop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is that something you implement in your shows or?
So yeah, my Panic at the Disco flip has it's I Write Sins Not Tragedies flip. It's got a nice fake out in the second John for sure. And I have a couple of the records like that have some cool fake outs.
I can't tell you those. You're just gonna have to figure
those out.
Yeah,
come to the show Saturday. Side Quest on 44. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll definitely do a plug for that.
That'd be sick.
Your track, you have a track called Face Off, right?
Yes, sir. That's a collab with my boy Gorilla Smack.
And I listened to it just briefly, and it kind of implies conflict. Well, that's the way I took it. But your brand implies unity. How do you balance the aggressive nature of dubstep with the positive vibes of the EDM community?
I mean, it's really just that's an energy track. You know what I mean? That's a like get your day started, like pull your bootstrings up and get this day going type deal. You know what I mean?
To seize the day kind of thing.
For sure. Like you run this shit. Like you the only one that can run this shit. You know what I mean? So you do it. But no, I have you know, I play a lot of heavy dubstep, experimental bass, rhythm. You know what I mean? I go through a wide variety of genres during my sets, and that's just one of the many, you know what I mean, many genres we hit. And it's more just like an energy booster. And it's like I put Gorilla Smack through that little Nickelback sample in there. You know what I'm saying? Look at this, you know what I mean? It goes crazy.
Nickelback is still a thing. I don't know why people
I
hate
fuck with them.
Nickelback.
Look at this photograph. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
It's a class.
You
throw that in the middle of a
yeah.
Listen to the song.
Check it out. You
know. How long have you been in the industry in all total?
So I mean, the industry, like on streaming platforms, you know, boots on the ground. It's 2017.
And how long have you
almost a decade
been making music?
I've been making music since you know, grade school. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking like choir, you know, chorus, into marching band. I went to marching band in the 9th grade. Started with mellophone, which is like a marching French horn, and moved to the alto sax, and then I mean, it just always progressed from there.
You're able to read music?
Yeah, sheet music.
How does that? Because I know I've learned a lot of musicians today can't read music.
Yeah, no, it's not like because everything's like really digital.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like everything's on the digi. You know what I'm saying?
So how does
I play the ocarina too? You know what I'm saying? Like
what is
Zelda shit, like Legend of Zelda.
What haven't you played? The piano. Do you play piano?
I do play.
Because I was saying with
sure.
MIDI, you kind of.
Yeah, man, I can play Cream on the piano.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's tight, man.
So you've been doing this for a long time. You know, we're in 2026 now. You said you're in the industry 2017, which platforms and all that. You just made the move, you know, to essentially trademark Krystal Klarity.
For sure.
What was that driving factor?
I just feel so strongly about this project and, you know, spreading this positive message. So it's like, you know, I built such a name for it. I just, you know, I needed to make sure that was followed through. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a brand and it's a business. You know what I mean? At the same time, you know, we look out for our people. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Just had to get it done. It felt like 26 was the right year to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's essentially I'm not playing anymore. This is the move.
Yeah,
this is a business.
No, this is no game. Like it's a game, but it's no game. You know what I mean?
You're just a producer. You're building a live entertainment brand. What is the vision for you? Where do you see your brand going, and what are your goals for the brand?
The goal for the brand ultimately, again, is just to spread as far as I can this positive message of like just peace and just chill. You know what I mean? Like I said, the world is crazy. There's mad shit going on. You know, it's just an escape and a release from that crazy reality. Like just chill. You know what I mean? And ultimately, we're looking to open up a venue someday. My manager has made that super clear. We're gonna make that happen. You know, to have a place for us all, you know, Probably here. I would say in
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think it's the
Pittsburgh.
move, man. You know what I mean? Love Tampa, but Pittsburgh is just like, it just feels like home. You know what I mean?
Venue in Tampa would also be dope too.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
Not-
You know
not
what
to
I
go
mean?
against what you
We start. You know, we'll probably start here and move back down south with it, honestly. But just a safe, chill place that we can all enjoy the music.
So when you say venue, it's going to be kind of live show driven, or is it going to be like studio as well? Like, what do you envision the venue being?
Yeah, I think we're gonna kind of incorporate everything, encompass everything, and it'll be like a live show venue for DJs and artists and stuff like that. And then I think we're gonna have like a recording room as well, because like I said, I had a recording studio in Tampa, but all of that gear and all that equipment is now in home. You know what I mean? So I wake up and boom,
Just get to it.
you just hop to it.
And like a lot of music is leaning to that, right? Because you have access. Back in the day, you had to go to a studio to get access to the mics,
For
the mixing
sure.
boards. Now everything's a plug-in. These are $400. You can get yourself one of these. You're good to go.
For sure.
Like how do you see the music industry evolving now that you're in it? How has it evolved, and how do you see it changing in the future?
I see honestly a lot of people kind of like doing the same, you know what I mean? Figuring out how to do it themselves, you know what I mean? But there will always be like top tier producers and engineers that, you kind of can't. You can grab the gear, but you know what I mean? You got to gain the knowledge too to how to, make it work. You know what I'm saying?
I think a dope thing to incorporate into the venue would be like a co-op, right? Like, because there's schools that teach this, and then they tell you go out into the world and partner. Like having a place where people who are looking to learn, right? You have your Patreon, but now they have a place,
Like a physical
place they can go and see people move the knobs. And because I know I learn a lot from YouTube and online, but it's different than having someone right there holding your hand, telling you like, hey, this is how I do it. And then you have another DJ. This is how I do it. Now they're learning like, oh, I like this way with this, but I'm going to incorporate the way KK does this over here. And now they get to make it their own.
Mm-hmm. You can hop right in the lab and try that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Test it out right there. That's what's up.
All right. What do you see the show or the brand, or let's say future, right? 2027, 2028. What does a Krystal Klarity show look like?
A lot of happy, smiling faces. And good times all around, man. Like, kind of gets a little wild, you know what I mean? But, like, everybody's, safe and happy, so that's the main part.
All right, so now we're gonna dive into the Relentless rapid round. I like to usually finish with some fun, quick questions.
Shout out my manager.
Shout out. She set this all up.
No, 100%.
This is the first time,
the
by the
GOAT,
way,
best of the best.
This is the first time I have never spoken to the guest prior to the show.
That's it. That's wild.
It's hard, right? Because usually I'll ask a couple feeler questions and all. So shout out to the man. She made everything easy for me, so I appreciate it.
Literally so goated, man. Like I did this I've had managers in the past, you know what I mean, kind of. But like, I've also done this independently all the way up until right here, and I'm still independent. But like this past year working with her has been immaculate. You know what I mean? It's just skyrocketed because like we think the same. We work, so well together. So have the same vision.
You mentioned something interesting, being independent.
Mm-hmm.
Have you and there's a lot of people who aim for the label, right? They want to get signed. They want to. What do you see the benefits of being independent and the drawbacks of being independent?
I would say, the drawbacks off rip, you know what I mean? It's a little harder to get the reach. I've done a lot of like boots on the ground, grassroots, you know what I'm saying? Organic reach. So it's like, you really got to put yourself in place, if you're independent versus like, if you happen to get on a label or something like that, they kind of like put you in place. Does that make sense?
So they do all the all the exposure work for you and allow you to just kind of focus on the craft itself.
For sure. Like usually, yeah. And then being independent, you kind of got to do that. You got to be the marketer. You got to be the, if you don't have an awesome manager, you got to be the manager. You got to be the booking agent. You got to be the artist. You got to do the edit. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to do the art. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, that's
it's crazy
that's
work.
a lot.
But it's worth it though. I would say the positives are like, we run this.
I need a manager.
Dude, bro.
Give me a manager. Someone online, give me a manager. A podcast manager.
I know a gal.
I know.
Top tier, bro.
I think she's busy enough, bro.
Yeah, she's doing pretty busy, so definitely got hands full for sure.
All right, so we're going to go into the Relentless Rapid Round. Quick, no overthinking. Just give me the first thing that hits, all right?
All right, for sure. Let's get it.
If you had to choose one forever, the perfect 16-bar verse or the perfect bass drop?
Perfect bass drop.
That's on brand. What is the one plug-in or piece of gear you can't produce without?
Pro Q3.
What is that?
It's an equalizer. It's a fab filter plug-in, yeah.
How many bands does it have?
3 bands. And then you can add more to as well, but there's 3 immediate bands.
Interesting. What is that? Now this is my nerd coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that EQ preferred over kind of like the standard EQ? Don't they do the same thing?
It's just a little more in depth. You get a little more stats, a little more data. You know what I mean? You can get a little more precise as far as like a regular stock EQ8 plug-in with Ableton.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Describe the feeling of your track Winner's Circle in one word.
Wild.
Wild.
Yeah, wildin'.
Harder to win over, a room full of hip-hop heads or a room full of ravers?
Hip-hop heads. Yeah.
They're very stuck in their ways.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's great. We can talk. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Let's expand.
No, I was gonna say, like, man, I just remember I did I opened for Peso, which is a hip-hop artist. He's with like Sauce Walker and all them. This was a while back. I remember I had the security guard with me. I had 1,000 ones. I brought 1,000 ones with me. I handed him, so it was just wilding out in there. But it's like, it was chill. It was chill in the area, but like, just like a rave is just like another feeling, bro. You know what I mean? Like
more laid back. Way
laid back. Everybody's just chilling. Everybody got that good energy. You know what I mean? There's no hostility in the building, really.
That's good.
So.
If you could produce a track for any rapper, dead or alive, to hop on a Krystal Klarity beat, who is it?
Any rapper?
Any rapper.
Shit, ODB.
You've reinvented yourself. What does greatness mean to William McGaha, Krystal Klarity, today?
Greatness? I mean, just having good morals, being a good person. You know what I mean, and living healthy. I've been sober since a grip. You know what I'm saying? Quite a while. And it's kind of crucial. You know what I mean? So, greatness, health is wealth.
That's a feat on its own, man. Especially in the industry, it's tough to manage.
It's a little tough.
What was that decision, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh man, I had to lock in, because I was just like really accelerating at such a rapid rate. And I was just making mad shit happen. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, what if,
I was clear-minded.
I was just mad, crystal clear mind. You know what I mean? Like, got the full crystal clarity now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a whole nother level for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's tough to do today.
For sure.
But that's all. And a lot of people I've taught, a few, especially my recent guests, they've all made that decision. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should stop.
I encourage it. I don't knock it, but you know what I mean? Like, everybody, can do their thing, but it's definitely like a whole nother feeling.
All right, now we're going to get a little bit in depth. I got a couple more questions that hopefully the people listening can pull something from, right? Like your story and all that, but this is kind of where we tie it all together. You taught yourself a whole new genre and rebranded successfully. To the listener who feels stuck in their current career or identity, what do you say to them about the power of pivoting?
Just make it happen.
And how does that look, right? Because people, we hear the thing, but it's easier said than done.
Find what you're most passionate about. Find what truly moves you, that you really are, like I said, passionate about, and follow it. And I know that sounds so cliche. I know that a lot of artists will say that, but it's really that factual. You just got to do it. And it's like, I just told my manager the other day, you know, and my partner, I said, don't listen to nobody. Don't, you know, when someone tries to tell you, obviously, you know, have your morals, have your, you know, ethics and be a good person. But like, when someone tries to tell you about you, or like if you're not, unless you're like doing something crazy, you know what I mean? Obviously,
that's
like,
good guidance.
Listen to them then, all right? Listen to your friends then, you know what I'm saying? But like, if someone like in the industry or someone like tries to tell you you can't do something, prove them wrong. Study. We have the resources. There's so many resources.
If you have a phone,
you got
smartphone,
a phone,
you have
can figure
the
it out.
entire world in your hand.
You got a library, a public library. You know what I'm saying? In anybody's situation, you can get it figured out for sure. And I believe in you.
He believes in you.
I believe in you. Krystal Klarity.
You mentioned the cliche. I love the cliches, right? Because if we actually apply them, they work.
9.9 times out of 10, they work, bro. It's crazy.
Like, honestly, like, people think relentless means like you have to hit things at 1,000% and you can't fail and you're always moving, but that's not what it means. It just means just doing what needs to be done, right? If your goal is to go to the gym, and you don't have time. I love you don't have time, and I want to. I've gotten some pushback on that because people are like, "Oh, I don't." You mentioned you don't have time, and it's like, no. The meaning of you don't have time is if you want to get healthy, you want to go to the gym, you want to eat right. That is a priority of yours. You have to make it happen. If that is truly a priority of yours, you have to get up early if you don't have time. And you have to go to the gym. You have to sacrifice something. By saying, this is my priority, I want this so bad, and then you hit me with the, I don't have time, and then you're spending 6 hours on Netflix, 2 hours on Reels. You know, you're going out to the bar and getting drunk when you could be honing in on your craft or building your business plan. It's not that you don't have time, you don't have the priority for it.
100%.
So
you have to take initiative. You know what I mean? You have to. No one else is gonna do it for you. You know what I mean? There'll be people maybe lit at a party and they're like, you got these good ideas, but it's like you got to buckle down and take initiative.
Then they wake up the next morning and then don't do anything.
Forget all about it, or do all the same shit all over again.
Dude, and it's the one thing that someone said to me that blew my mind, and it's so true. Everyone has the same 24 hours. Elon Musk, the billionaire, or the person living check to check trying to make ends meet. Everyone has the same 24 hours. No one's allotted an extra time to do anything. And I know money helps with creating time and resources because it frees up some stuff. But at the end of the day, we have the same 24 hours. How are you spending yours? Right?
Facts. Carefully. You know what I mean? Very, very precise. Very, very particular.
For the bedroom producer listening right now who's scared to put their music out, what is the first step they need to take to get heard?
For the bedroom producer looking to get their shit out, just you know, come with a purpose. You know what I mean? Come with like some really proper shit and just, you know, put yourself in place. Be at that show. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's tough sometimes. You know what I mean? Those shows are late. Yeah, I'm trying to get to bed. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to stick it out and make it happen and get your music, get your art to the right people.
And the easiest question I've probably asked all show.
For sure.
Where can people stream Magna Karta and follow you online?
All streaming platforms. Apple Music, Spotify, you know, Amazon, Shazam, if you're here. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you want to do.
It's legit.
SoundCloud, you know what I mean? Everywhere. And, you know, I'm on Instagram is my faithful biggest platform. I go by Krystal Klarity with 2 Ks, Krystal with a K, Clarity with a K. Yeah, also I offer like I said, educational classes on Patreon. And if you're local in Pittsburgh, you know what I mean, and the vibe is right, I have one-on-one sessions at my personal studio, and hands-on, you know what I mean. I'll show you whatever you need. You know what I'm saying. We've had some lineups and stuff with some artists, and it's like, you know, putting them on to like kind of like push them and stuff like that, and they're like, you know, well, maybe I need a little more time here, or like maybe I need a little time on the J's, or whatever the case is. Like I'm here for that. You know what I mean?
So you offer online coaching essentially and in person.
For sure. Yeah, so we can do it. Discord, Muse is good. Shout out Nick, taught me about Muse. That's just dope. It's a great platform to like share screens and stuff.
Okay.
And work remotely.
I have to look in that.
Yeah, it's tight. It's tight.
So I started a Patreon, but I didn't do anything with it. I don't know. Like I have to look into it. Yeah, because one thing I want to do is start incorporating like a live chat where people can, if they're listening, they can ask a question. Like they're listening to you and they're like, "Oh man, what about this?" And then I can offer that now. So I'm looking into how to do that. Patreon. Where can people find your Patreon?
So it's the Bat Cave on Patreon. The Bat Cave with a K. And yeah, we offer, you know, show discounts as well with my company and merch discounts. Oh, by the way, hold up. This is for you, man.
Oh.
It's a very limited run. Shout out Bear. He's actually a Pittsburgh homie. He's freaking goated, bro. He does some really nice stuff, and we're gonna have some cool collabs this year for sure.
Oh, this is dope.
It's tight.
I like the purple. Do
Right?
you have a brand color?
Bro, pink. Pink and black, yeah, for sure.
There you go.
It's Emily. One of my homies in Denver, flipping squishes. She makes these custom bags. You can pick any Squishmallow you want. It's a little obsession of mine.
She makes Squishmallows.
Yeah, the bags. It's a bag, you know, it's got like a zipper. Keep my USBs in there and my Ray-Bans, the Metas.
What was the, there was like this USB, what's it called, an iLock?
Yeah, I think
that you would like put software codes in and stuff. Is that still a thing in music?
I haven't, you know, really.
Like when you purchase a plug-in. Is it iLock?
iLock, that's for Pro Tools, I think.
It's just Pro Tools.
Yeah, I feel like that. That's where I've seen iLock from.
I was wondering if you purchase a plug-in or something, like let's say you got another, you want to go to a studio and use it. Can't use it?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. That's what, you know, for the plugins type shit. Yeah. No, you gotta have that code. You know,
I remember something like that.
That's real
I had
deal.
like two of them, and I had Auto-Tune was the one I had on.
Yep, Antares. You use Antares? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good times.
Gas.
Well, brother, that's the end of it. I appreciate you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Go follow him online. This is the one with Krystal Klarity, and we are out.
Love y'all. Peace, Pittsburgh, and the world. Thank you, brother.
Of course. You just got to hear from William McGaha, a.k.a. Krystal Klarity. I love the stories about evolution. Too many of us get stuck being who we were instead of becoming who we are. Will could have stayed a rapper. It was working. It was safe. But relentless people don't look for safety. They look for clarity. See what I did there? He followed the sound in his head, learned the tools, and built a brand that bridges two worlds. If you're holding on to an old version of yourself just because it's comfortable, let it go. Drop the beat on the new you. Go stream the Magna Karta EP and support the brand. Share this episode with one friend who would be inspired by this conversation. And make sure to follow the Relentless Project on Instagram, X, and YouTube at Relentless PRJCT. Drop a comment, show some love so we can keep bringing you guests who share their story. And remember, we don't settle, we don't quit, and we don't wait for permission. I'm Ish. This is the Relentless Project, and I will see you on the next one. Later.